giant figures stare up from the desert, watching an empty sky. For centuries, these colossal drawings have baffled scientists and archaeologists. They are etched into the arid plains of Peru, so immense that their true forms are only discernible from high above. Tonight, we plunge into the heart of this ancient riddle, seeking to understand the creators and their impossible vision. The Nazca lines, as they are known, span hundreds of square kilometers. They depict a bewildering array of creatures: hummingbirds, monkeys, spiders, and even human-like figures. But alongside these zoomorphic designs, geometric shapes and straight lines stretch for miles, cutting across the landscape with unnerving precision. Discovered by modern eyes in the 1920s, when commercial flights over Peru became more common, the lines immediately sparked intense curiosity. Before then, they were merely seen as strange, shallow depressions in the ground, their grand purpose utterly lost to time. The sheer scale and complexity were instantly recognized as a monumental archaeological puzzle. The Nazca culture flourished in this region between 100 BC and 800 AD. They were skilled potters, weavers, and farmers, adapting ingeniously to one of the driest places on Earth. Yet, the creation of the lines seems to transcend their known technological capabilities, presenting an immense challenge to our understanding of their society. The method of creation itself is deceptively simple. The Nazca people removed the reddish-brown surface rocks, exposing the lighter, gypsum-rich soil beneath. This contrast created the lines, which, thanks to the extremely dry climate and lack of strong winds, have remained remarkably preserved for over a millennium. But simplicity in method does not equate to simplicity in execution. Imagine attempting to draw a perfect 300-foot hummingbird without the ability to see the entire drawing from above. How did they maintain such consistent proportions and straightness over vast distances? This is not merely an artistic endeavor, it speaks to an advanced understanding of geometry and planning far beyond what one would expect. One of the most compelling aspects is the sheer variety of the designs. Some are simple straight lines, others are trapezoids or spirals. Then there are the biomorphic figures, rendered with astounding detail and fluidity. Each seems to tell a different story or serve a distinct purpose, yet they all share this impossible perspective. Early theories often focused on astronomical alignments. Researchers like Maria Wright, who dedicated her life to studying the lines, meticulously mapped and analyzed them. She proposed many of the lines and figures had connections to solstices, constellations, or served as an ancient astronomical calendar. This theory gained significant traction, offering a practical explanation. Wright's work highlighted potential alignments with the rising and setting points of celestial bodies. For a culture deeply dependent on agriculture and the seasonal cycles, such a calendar would have been invaluable. Yet, not all lines fit neatly into astronomical patterns, and some alignments seemed coincidental, prompting further questions. Another prevailing theory suggests the lines were part of ancient water rituals. The Nazca Desert is exceptionally dry, making water an invaluable resource. Some researchers believe the lines, particularly the geometric ones, pointed to underground water sources or served as pathways for ceremonial processions to invoke rain deities. The connection between water and life was paramount. The animal figures, too, could be interpreted through this lens. Many animals depicted, like the hummingbird or monkey, are associated with water or fertility in Andean cosmology. Perhaps these giant effigies were offerings or prayers made on a scale intended to be seen by the gods themselves, residing in the heavens above. This idea of communicating with deities from above brings us to a more speculative, yet endlessly fascinating theory: the Nazca lines as landing strips or messages for extraterrestrial visitors. This notion, popularized by Erich von Däniken in his book Chariots of the Gods, captivated the public imagination. Could ancient astronauts have influenced these creations? Von Däniken pointed to the sheer size and the airport-like appearance of some trapezoidal figures as evidence. He suggested the Nazca people, inspired by celestial visitors, created these markings to guide their return. While widely dismissed by mainstream archaeology, the theory highlights the profound mystery of how the lines were truly intended to be seen. Of course, there is no credible archaeological evidence to support extraterrestrial involvement. However, the question of how the Nazca people achieved such precision without aerial vantage points remains a critical challenge to any theory. The scale alone suggests a level of communal organization and engineering skill that is truly astonishing. Some researchers propose the use of hot air balloons, drawing inspiration from Nazca textiles and and pottery, which sometimes depict flying motifs. Proponents suggest the Nazca could have developed rudimentary balloon technology. A small pilot balloon could have provided the necessary aerial perspective for supervising the massive construction projects. Indeed, experimental archaeology has shown that a simple hot air balloon constructed with period-appropriate materials could theoretically be built and flown. However, there is no direct archaeological evidence of such balloons, nor is it clear how stable or controllable they would have been to guide such precise ground markings over extended periods. It remains an intriguing, albeit unproven, possibility. Another, more grounded, theory involves sophisticated ground-based surveying techniques. By creating small-scale models, then scaling them up using a grid system, ropes, and stakes, the Nazca could have meticulously transferred designs onto the desert floor. This requires immense patience and mathematical understanding. Researchers have successfully replicated smaller Nazca-like figures using only ancient tools and methods. This demonstrates that human ingenuity, without the need for advanced technology, is capable of such feats. However, the sheer scale of the largest figures, some over 1,200 feet long, still presents a staggering logistical challenge. The precise purpose of the animal figures remains particularly enigmatic. Were they clan totems, representations of constellations, or perhaps a form of sacred art? Some scholars suggest they were part of a pilgrimage route, with specific figures acting as markers or sacred points along a ceremonial path through the desert. The Nazca lines are not merely drawings, they are an integral part of the landscape, interacting with the natural contours of the desert. Some figures incorporate natural hills or rock formations into their design, blurring the line between human creation and the natural world. This suggests a deep spiritual connection to their environment. The lack of habitation sites directly around the lines also adds to the mystery. These were not places where people lived or worked daily. They were likely sacred spaces, visited for specific ceremonial purposes, perhaps during significant astronomical events or times of drought. The temporary nature of their use makes their creation even more profound. What if the lines were not meant to be seen by human eyes at all, at least not directly? Perhaps their true audience was purely divine. The act of creation, the immense effort and precise design, might have been the offering itself, a monumental prayer etched into the earth for the gods above to witness and acknowledge. The Nazca people were known for their elaborate rituals, including human sacrifice and head hunting, often associated with fertility and agricultural success. The lines could be a larger extension of this ritualistic devotion, a plea for abundant harvests and life-giving water in a harsh environment. The stakes were incredibly high. The symbols themselves often mirror designs found on Nazca pottery and textiles. This suggests a continuity of meaning and iconography across different artistic mediums. The desert floor became their largest canvas, a monumental testament to their shared beliefs and cultural identity. The images were deeply significant to them. One particularly striking figure is the astronaut or owl-man geoglyph. Its distinctly non-animalistic appearance, with large eyes and a seemingly helmeted head, has fueled much speculation. Is it a representation of a deity, a shaman, or something far more otherworldly? Its uniqueness stands out amongst the animals. While the astronaut is often cited in alien theories, it's more likely a depiction of a shaman in ritualistic attire, perhaps with an animal mask or costume. Such figures are common in ancient Andean art, representing spiritual guides or connections to the supernatural realm. Its interpretation depends entirely on one's perspective. The sheer act of preservation is also remarkable. The very climate that made life difficult for the Nazca people also ensured their grand designs endured. The lack of rain and wind meant the shallow depressions, once created, remained largely undisturbed for over 1,000 years. It's a testament to nature's role in history. However, modern threats now loom. Tourism, while vital for the region, poses a risk. Unregulated foot traffic can damage the fragile lines, erasing millennia of history in mere moments. Climate change also presents new challenges, with unusual rainfall patterns threatening to erode these ancient masterpieces. Their future is uncertain. The Peruvian government and UNESCO are working to protect the Nazca lines, designating them a World Heritage Site. Strict regulations are in place to control access and minimize environmental impact. The global community recognizes the immense value of these enigmatic desert drawings. Their preservation is a shared responsibility. So, what is the most plausible explanation for the Nazca lines? Considering all the evidence, a multifaceted purpose seems most likely. likely. They were not merely one thing but a complex tapestry of meaning and function deeply intertwined with the Nazca worldview. My own theory combines elements of several propositions. I believe the Nazca lines were primarily a vast, open-air sacred landscape. The geometric lines and figures were indeed part of an astronomical calendar crucial for agricultural planning in a region dependent on precise seasonal knowledge. The large animal geoglyphs, however, served a different, more ritualistic purpose. These were not just calendar markers but monumental offerings or prayers to water deities visible not from the sky by humans but by the gods themselves. The very act of their creation, requiring immense communal effort and precision, was the ritual. The Nazca, facing extreme aridity, used these colossal figures as a desperate yet profound plea for rain and fertility. The animals depicted were likely tied to water sources or fertility myths, making them potent symbols in their spiritual appeals. The scale was meant to impress the divine, not merely human observers. As for how they achieved such precision without aerial views, the ground-based surveying methods, involving scaled models and meticulous grid systems, are the most scientifically sound explanation. While challenging, human ingenuity, coupled with centuries of astronomical observation, could certainly have achieved these marvels. The impossible perspective was not for them to see from above but for something greater. The Nazca lines represent an unparalleled blend of scientific knowledge, religious devotion, and artistic expression, all etched into the very fabric of the earth, enduring as a silent testament to a lost civilization's profound beliefs. The Nazca lines continue to guard their secrets, whispering tales of ancient rituals and celestial connections across the desert winds. They challenge our assumptions about ancient capabilities and remind us that some mysteries are meant to endure, forever prompting us to look up and wonder. They stand as a powerful reminder of humanity's enduring drive to connect with the cosmos and the unseen forces of the world. What motivated such immense, enduring effort? What did they truly believe they were communicating with high above the desert floor? What do you believe was the true purpose behind the Nazca lines? Was it for the gods, the stars, or something else entirely? Share your theories in the comments below. Backhand index pointing down. If this journey into the unknown has captivated your mind, remember to like this video and subscribe to Mind Unlocked for more deep dives into the world's most enduring mysteries. Your support helps us uncover the hidden truths. Thank you for watching.